hello there, and welcome back to another series, video, episode of the thenoracazares channel. Sorry I was gone for so long. I had a couple of things that I needed to take care of, including starting a blog that I'm going to be launching pretty soon. It's going to be a lifestyle, wellness, and hot yoga centered, focused blog. So I will let you know if you're interested in checking out that content. I feel like sometimes I am better at writing my thoughts and discoveries, I guess, versus just talking to a camera and doing video content. By the way, do you like my bangs? I really like them. And I'm also moving! Yes! I am moving to Santa Fe, New Mexico, and I'm very excited. So, with all that being said, let's get started. Today I'm going to be talking about Thesis and my conclusions on trying it for about a month. This is a part 2 of my Thesis review unboxing video that I made about a month ago. But I wanted to let you know how everything went, and I am sad to say, spoiler alert, I am not using it anymore. But that doesn't mean that it's not a pretty good product. I just cannot use it personally, and I will let you know why, and maybe you are a person who is in that same situation. Okay, so what is Thesis? If you didn't check out my other video, and I will link it below as well, Thesis is a nootropics membership subscription that you get every month, and they charge about $79 per month. It supports energy, mood, focus, and stamina levels, so you can, this is what they say, spend less time doubting and more time doing. And basically it's like a natural-ish alternative to like ADD stimulants and meds, if that makes sense. When you order your subscription, they give you like a short quiz to answer kind of what your day-to-day life looks like. And for me, I answered that I have no energy, I lose focus, I have brain fog, I have no motivation sometimes, I'm fatigued, things like that. So based on those kind of quick answers, they determined that my first box, I guess, would come with motivation, energy, logic, and clarity. And what are these? You're supposed to take them for 4 weeks, and in that week, so first week you're supposed to take motivation for 6 days straight. You're supposed to also write down how you feel, if you've noticed any difference, etc. And motivation is supposed to be best for crossing off your to-do list, sticking to good habits, self-discipline to complete tasks. And it's formulated to amplify willpower and self-discipline, tackle tasks, stop procrastinating throughout the day, supports basal, B-A-S-A-L, ganglia function, the habit center of the brain for those looking to start new routines. Then followed by energy, which is best for busy days, intense workouts, staying alert after suboptimal sleep, formulated to start your day strong and boost through the midday slump, stay focused on the task at hand and crush your to-do list. Logic, best for deep focus work, research projects, complex problem solving, completing tedious tasks, formulated to facilitate analytical thinking and complex problem solving to take on tedious tasks, improves working memory, relieves stress, and supports neurogenesis. And then finally, clarity, best for high pressure days, maintaining concentration, tasks that require focus and attention, formulated to support a calm, focused flow. Clarity is especially useful when you need to perform at your best under stressful conditions. Okay, so with that, I did 6 days of motivation as soon as I, got the package, And the things that I noticed, and this is for women who are menstruating, I'm gonna be real. I started it around the time that I was getting my period, and I noticed it actually affected my mood tremendously. It not only affected my mood and like mood swings in kind of a negative way, it also gave me really intense dreams that were really stressful. I can't even give you an example because the dreams were really weird. I don't know, it's like an out-of-body experience. I can't even explain it to you. And then I also noticed that I had a lot of insomnia. So I was going to bed. I was taking this in the morning, then I had coffee. I only had like 1 cup of coffee that day, and then at night I was going to bed maybe around 11 p.m. to 12 a.m. Yes, I have kind of a shitty sleep routine, but I also am the type of person that gets more creative and alert and does better working on tasks and creative things at night, so that's why I go to sleep around that time, even though my body doesn't like it. But I noticed that I was getting insomnia, so I would fall asleep for like an hour, wake up probably for 30 minutes, fall back asleep for like an hour, and then wake up again, and throughout the night I could not sleep, and then I had those really weird dreams. Motivation, I did not like. Energy, so they tell you to take it for each one of these for 6 days and then take a break. So on the 7th day of the week, you take a break, you don't take anything, and then you start and you pack the following day. So the next one was energy. Honestly, I could not tell the difference between taking a pack of these and drinking a cup of coffee. Like I could not tell a difference. The only thing that I felt was like a 30-minute burst of energy, and that was it. Again, I was having really intense dreams, insomnia, etc. But I was not having the mood swings or anything related to that. And I suspect, and later it was confirmed, that it was because of my period and kind of the hormonal effects that were, you know, up and down. Also, I'm on hormonal birth control. We'll get to that later. 3rd week was clarity. So this one actually was the one that I was like, oh, okay, now I feel it, now I'm getting it. I really, really like this. I was taking it again, you know, when I woke up. So this one I was taking after my coffee, and then I was jumping into tedious tasks like setting up my WordPress website for my blog and going through courses on setting up Google Analytics and AdSense, which I have like, you know, I'm a beginner on all of that, and it's tedious and it's just like really analytical thinking and just boring stuff. But I noticed that I was probably an hour after taking this super focused. And the biggest thing for me was that I felt really positive throughout the day. I went out with a couple of friends, I remember, and I was just super chatty, like so positive, making jokes. I felt like my personality, my true personality, back when I was like in high school, college, kind of before all of the ADD shit started happening, I felt like my personality was kind of coming back, if that makes sense. Like I was just present. I was focused, I was listening to conversations, my eyes were not wandering, I wasn't anxious, I was just taking everything in. And I felt good. But again, I was having insomnia and those weird nightmare type stress dreams. Clarity, 10 out of 10. Well, clarity, 9 out of 10 because of the insomnia and dreams. I got to logic on the last week, halfway through the last week, and again, it was very similar to clarity. I felt like as soon as I took it, I was present, I was checking off things off my list. I was working on my blog. I was doing all these tedious tasks, and yeah, I was not burning out or like checking out mentally throughout, you know, halfway through. And I felt, again, really positive, present, good. Like, I felt good. And then that's when I realized that I should have known this before, but the packet that they sent me included a pill with caffeine in it as part of the package. And each package, for example, Logic, I still have Logic left because I stopped taking it halfway. As you can see, it has the 3 capsules with their blends, and then the white one is just caffeine. So I stopped taking the white one, and guess what? I was not having insomnia anymore, and I wasn't having those weird dreams. But I was getting the really good benefits of the blends, and so I concluded Clarity and Logic were working for me. And that's around the time that I had the phone call to check in with one of the Thesis representatives, and he was awesome. He was asking me questions like, how do I like it, blah, 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 blah. What are my goals? Did I, you know, achieve what I was looking for? Did I like it? And I told him that I was having really weird dreams, and I was also having insomnia, and also motivation did nothing for me. In fact, it was like the complete opposite. But also I mentioned that I was on my period that week. And this isn't medical advice or anything like that. This is just my experience. He concluded that because I was starting a menstrual cycle, these being absorbed into my bloodstream were not having a positive impact on my body. It's weird. So then I went down a rabbit hole, because this is the part that I needed to mention. I'm on hormonal birth control. I'm on the pill. And I started taking all of this kind of around the same time as my cycle, right? I noticed halfway through, so probably once I started Clarity, because this was like week 3, start of week 3, I started noticing that I had intense PMS symptoms. What are PMS symptoms? They were symptoms that were symptoms of you starting a period cycle for women who menstruate. Women who have periods, you understand. That could be like intense cramps, really painful, you know, boobs, tender, painful. And then I started spotting, and then I had a full-blown period in the middle of my cycle when I should not have had a period because I was on birth control. And so I was like, this is really strange. I started doing research on nootropics and the effects on birth control, and unfortunately there is like little to none research out there on what nootropics really do to women who are taking the pill. And it was really frustrating because I started thinking, holy smokes, that potentially means that my birth control is basically not even working, not effective if I am taking nootropics. And so then I sent a message to Thesis. They referred me to my doctor because they didn't know, which then I asked my doctor, and instead of being humble and just accepting that you don't know, she referred me to a pharmacist. I don't have a pharmacist, and at this point, that's when I was kind of deep into figuring out if anybody else has had this, you know, situation happen. I found a Reddit post from someone else kind of having similar symptoms from something else, and I do know that, like, St. John's wort, which is helpful for people with depression, it does not do well with birth control, making it pretty much not work. And so I concluded, based on my personal experience and how my body reacted, that these nootropics do not work with birth control. And it makes me really sad because overall, Thesis is pretty cool. It works. It's not like the answer to everything, and I still do wonder about like the long-term effects of people using nootropics. But for now, like, I can tell you it works, at least clarity and logic. And it's really sad because I was talking to the representative about, you know, all of that, and he also concluded that perhaps the pill that contains the caffeine was doing harm, I guess, to my sleep cycles, and it was kind of creating those weird dreams and causing me to have insomnia. So he's like, just don't take it. And Thesis does have an option for you to order a package with no caffeine in it, so you can definitely do that. Just make sure you check, because they don't ask you, they don't tell you, they don't give you a heads up. You kind of have to do it on your own. So that's awesome. If I would have decided to keep taking these nootropics, I would have gone with clarity and logic just for the month. And they have other ones, of course, but overall, taking birth control for me is more important for my own personal reasons and what it does for me in balancing out hormones and having lighter periods. I do have painful periods otherwise. It's cleared up my skin, and of course, you know, there's always the benefit of not having an unplanned pregnancy if you are sexually active. And there are a lot of women who take birth control and they're not sexually active. They take it for the other benefits. But there's also a lot that the medical community should be doing to improve birth control, because there's still a lot of negative effects. I hope that makes sense. It didn't work for me because it was interfering with my birth control, and we don't want that here. At least not for me, for my body, and how. What I'm trying to say is that Thesis is awesome if you're not on birth control. I just wish in the future that more research is done to figure out like how we can improve these nootropics for those fluctuating hormones and mood swings and birth control. So that was my personal experience using Thesis. I do recommend it, but also be very, very careful about what you put into your body, and if you are using some other medication, even if it's not birth control, like, you just don't know, and there's not a lot of research. Also, I mean, these nootropics, they're not evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration, so there's still a lot of research that needs to be done. So that's it. That's what I wanted to tell you guys, and let me know if you are using Thesis, or if you also had that experience, if you are on birth control, or even just, you know, any other topics that you want to discuss about these nootropics. That's it. All right. Talk to you soon. Bye.